Originally bred as a type of water dog, the poodle was once known as a skilled gun dog, commonly earning high marks in the retrieving, hunting, tracking, and herding categories. Today, poodles commonly live their lives indoors as pets or house dogs. For this reason, the poodle's been forced to adapt its hunting traits and keen sense of smell to the city life. This urban poodle spends its time retrieving balls and toys, tracking the activities of suspicious neighbors, hunting for intrusive bugs, and herding the cat. This story is about Marley, my urban poodle. The story begins on a Tuesday morning. Like every Tuesday morning, I had snoozed my alarm at least 5 times. My urban poodle was snuggled up against me, waiting patiently for me to give him the cue that the day had begun. With the sun creeping in through the windows and the sound of the 6th alarm, I began to move around, and the cue was given. Marley leapt from the bed with a noticeable extra spring in his step. He immediately began racing around the house as if he were looking for something. At first, I did not think much about Marley's actions, as his likely search for a ball was normal urban poodle behavior. However, this morning was different. There were at least 2 suitable dog toys on the bedroom floor and a bone in the living room, but Marley was not at all interested in these toys that so easily captivated his attention on other occasions. I became alarmed when Marley's search slowly grew more intense, sniffing the floor, running 10 feet forward, stopping, sniffing the air, circling back, checking rooms and closets. I started to wonder if Marley had eaten something poisonous in our little urban home and possibly was now hallucinating. I decided to let him outside to go to the bathroom. After a quick bathroom break, Marley was back on the search. It was as if he was hunting something. As Marley began retracing his steps, he grew more excited. Marley had caught a trail. I began to follow Marley around the house until he led me to a ball closet where he began frantically scratching at the door and yipping. Still assuming this madness must be about some beloved long-lost ball, I swung the door open, and Marley charged in, shoved his nose in the corner, jumped backwards in alarm, and barked. There, in the corner of the closet, was a disgusting creature. It was huge. It had beady dark eyes and a dark, combat-like protective covering. It almost seemed to be hissing as it backed further into the corner. It was that time of year again. Roach season. Marley had prepared for roach season. I should have known by the extra pep in his step. I, however, had not. Upon seeing the roach, I promptly screamed, slammed the door shut, cursed a lot, did some sort of track star 3-step jump, triple jump to the side, and for the next 30 seconds, I contemplated my life as a single woman, and I seriously considered settling down with the next man I met. This was not your typical roach, no. It was an urban roach. Urban roaches are much larger, possibly 5 times the size of regular roaches. The urban roach is an expert at breaking into the most secure homes. It can somehow manage to squeeze through an oddly small crack, one you didn't even know existed until the urban roach disappeared into it. Survive in your sewer and hold its breath for minutes as it swims up your pipes. Yeah. Undoubtedly knowing that this urban roach had to die, I just had to figure out how. As I considered my options, I thought back on my past encounters with urban roaches, all traumatic. Because there was absolutely no way in hell I was going to get on my hands and knees and put my head into the corner of the closet to squash a giant urban roach that could, at any second, fly towards my face. I was left with no choice. I grabbed the Raid, I sprayed the urban roach with at least half the can, and slammed the closet door. That's when I noticed the large space between the door and the floor, Realizing the urban roach could escape brought on flashbacks of my previous experiences. Adrenaline flowing, I sprayed under the door, I grabbed a hand towel, I soaked it, and then I sealed the door off with the hand towel. Although I was still on edge about encountering the beast, I knew I was safe because Marley sat attentively by the door, waiting for any sign of escape. After an hour, Marley lost interest in the door and resumed his normal urban poodle tasks. So I assumed the urban roach had passed. Still, it was 6 days before I removed the hand towel and confirmed the urban roach's death. After a lot of thought, I decided it was a good idea to settle down and let someone else take care of these types of things. My urban poodle was getting older, and we couldn't live this life forever. The next day, I entered into a committed, long-term business relationship with an exterminator.